What's up, G?
What's up?
Just saying, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Happy Wednesday.
Man, I'm just setting up all the tech. I got a TikTok live, another TikTok live, and this
Nice.
is I use the app called Restream. So on my laptop, so it's streaming to my Stoic Temple YouTube channel and the IMC TV YouTube channel. Right now, this is streaming to the IMC TV YouTube channel, my Facebook, and 2 Facebook groups called Brotherhood of the Wolf and May the Frame Be With You. So it's, the laptop is streaming to 5 locations plus Zoom, and then 2 TikToks going right now. So I'm just kind of setting it all up, making sure it works.
Very cool. Well, shout out to Restream. That's dope. I recently found out about Restream, so I'm dabbling and researching more and more so I can learn how to do that. You know, multiple streams to multiple things as opposed to just one room, right? But yeah, good to see you, bro. I'm glad to be here. I'm getting my son from soccer, but it said 6 and we're an hour ahead. So yeah, I hopped on. I'm glad to be here. Oh.
Right on. I'm glad you're here too. I said often. So TikToks will start soon. Stick around. I'm Yogi Chris. I live with AZD. That's who I am, and I'll be streaming about AZD stuff here in a second.
You wanna go again? Will I go again? Will I go again? If I do this every day, it's that often. Don't let me touch you up the way, not so often. Bitches down to do it either way. Often, baby, I can make that pussy wet. Often, girl, I do this often. Make that pussy pop. Do it how I want it. Often, girl, I do this often. Make that pussy pop. Do it how I want it. Often.
Perfect. Start after this song. Enjoy my DJing. DJ Yogi. DJ Yogi Chris.
Wiki.
DJ Pimpin' Yo. Yo G. That's what they call me, Yo G. We'll start in a second right after this song, everybody. AZD _ IMC, Bible of Arash, and all the YouTubes.
DJ Pimpin' Yogi OG.
What's up?
DJ Pimpin' Yogi OG.
Man, my name just keeps getting long. Dude.
You gotta add the PH in there.
Man.
I put Sheranian with to tell my bros. They left Sheranian.
People are just joining for the music. As soon as I start talking, they'll bounce off. You know what I'm saying? No, stick around. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, bitch. The only thing we had to free our mind. To read that verse when we see dollar signs. You looking like an easy come up, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Hey, silver spoon, I know you come from, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. And that's a lifestyle that we never knew. Now go at a rapping for the revenue. Holly do. Make your poison, tell me what you do.
TikToks.
Everybody goes at the shoot.
TikToks. We get starting soon.
brotherly God forever.
And I've been hustling all day, this away, that away, through canals and alley places, just to say, money trees is the perfect place for shade, and that's just how I feel. Yeah.
Nah,
Ain't that I'm just fucking main bitch, that's just how I feel.
nah.
Ain't that I'm right, say fuck the niggas that you
Gotta be
gave
off
me,
camera to hit this
just how I
thing.
feel. Nah. Ain't that I'm just make that lane switch, that's just how I feel.
Because that's just how TikTok do it.
Hey, dynamite, turn to one, you know, he's them, yo, bitch, that's just how I feel. Dream to live in life like rappers do. Bump that new E40 at the school, wait at the school. You know, big ballin' with my home man. Bro, Stevens had a thinking rational, irrational. Back to reality before you bitch, you bitch. Ain't nothing casualty at war, you bitch. Yeah, bitch, 2 bullets in my uncle Tony head. My Tony head. He said one day I'll be on tour, you bitch. Yeah, bitch. That Louis burgers never be the same. Won't be the same. Won't be. Hey, Louis Belden never eats that pain. Won't eat that pain. Won't eat. But I'm gonna purchase when that day is church. That day is church. Pull off in churches with Pirelli skirt. Pirelli skirt. Gang signs out the window, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Hoping all of them offend you, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. They say your hood is the pot of gold. And we go crash it when nobody's home. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. They get once and tell me what you do. Everybody goes think the shoe. But the one in front of the guy is but a bar.
The one brotherly God forever.
And I've been hustling all day, this way, better way, through canals and alley place, just to say, money trees is the perfect place for shade, and that's just how I feel. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't that I'm just fucking main bitch, that's just how I feel. Yeah. Ain't that I might say fuck the niggas that you gave away, that's just how I feel. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that just make that lane switch. That's just how I feel. Yeah. Hey, that might turn to one, you know, him and we all bitch. That's just how I feel.
We're not gonna have to get down. Go away, I wanna be fucking head home. Go away, the street and we break the code. Go away, the brakes and they are control. Go away, we're not gonna have to get down. Go away, I wanna be fucking head home. Go away, the street and we break the code. Go away, the brakes and they are control.
As they rock up in them projects where them niggas pick your pockets, Santa Claus don't miss them stockings, liquor spilling, pistol popping, baking soda, you all the wicked. Ain't no turkey on Thanksgiving. My homeboy just owned the nigga. I just hope the Lord forgive him. I put cocaine red to do. Every day I'm hustling. What else is a thug to do when you eat cheap from the government? Gotta put out for my daughter and them. Get the fuck up out my way, bitch. Got that drum and I got them bands just like a parade, bitch. Got that work up in the bushes. Hope them boys don't see my stash. If they do tell the truth, this the last time you might see my ass. From the gardens where the grass ain't cut, them serpents working blood. Bitches selling pussy, niggas selling drugs, but it's all good. Broken promises, still you're watching, tell you what time it is. Hey, yo, Jay,
All right.
you keep it with them.
Hell yeah. Whoa, dude, I'm like crying. Man. The AZD process. Dude. That's what it was. That's what it was. What's up, everybody? This is Recording Now, Enlightened Masculinity. Enlightened Masculinity. Got a little English guttural, whatever. I'm Yogi Chris, IMC Nation captain from IMC Base 1, San Jose. You may be catching this recording, Apple, Spotify, Podbean. Leave a review right away. Follow. Do that. There's so many great episodes. Today I'll be talking about We Are Dragon's Blood, the next event in AZD's line of, dude, this is like a time capsule. I've been documenting for years, posting, interviewing IMC guys. You could go and meet everybody, meet a lot of the top guys. Brian Casella, Oracle, multiple episodes, Rick Lamoy, TK, you know, and they'll have their own shows too. And it's documenting this evolution because AZD being the main guy. Check this out. Check this out. My original first podcast was me and AZD, back and forth, 30 episodes, bro. And to be fair, a lot of you like online on TikTok or what have you, would really enjoy those episodes. It was called Science of Peace, and it was on Apple and everywhere you could find it. And that's free content with AZD, and you'll see how he navigates my undeveloped mind, even though I was already a PhD in engineering and building a yoga business. But my inability to communicate, even though I wasn't like retarded, dude, I'm telling you, I was good enough that you would be entertained by watching the episode. And that's really nice because, man, my backwards time, that I don't know, 5 years, maybe 6 years. So not that long ago, but it would be, man, you would be entertained by it, but it's so many levels ago of myself because I've done camp after camp with AZD. I've been continuously on Alpha Academy, and there's a real evolution that I'm witnessing as like first witness, first disciple or whatever. I'm not the first, but I'm in that position. I was like at the, what do you call it, concert, and I was shoving my way to the front, wedging my way in between people, and I got to the front row, and I'm watching this thing, and it was so good that it was like, yo, you in the front row, why don't you come and do something with the loudspeaker over here, do something with the amplifier or the lighting or something. And I start doing that, and I'm doing such a good job. And it's like, hey, why don't you like book my tour? Be my manager. I like graduated from like audience member to manager. Just like book me, book all my events. So I do that, and basically be my right-hand man, lead everybody else as much as, and it's been working out like that for about 4 years. I'm right-hand man to AZD. That's who I am, Yogi Chris. So TikToks, that's, why I'm streaming to you. And, I run this account and et cetera, et cetera. So over here is on Zoom, and I'm streaming to this recording, and the We Are Dragon's Blood event is special. In all of the events, let's see, about not less than 60, probably more than 70 events, major events. That's like a 2 or 3 day or longer, just immersion and a level of information that just blows your mind. It gives you perspectives and ways of looking at relevant situations, relationships, dealing with parents, dealing with employers, employees, or anybody that you live around, and especially the female and male code, the male-female code of things. When you see how she's attracted to different things than you are, and it's spelled out so clearly and deeply, I'm telling you, it's like anybody watching jujitsu and being like, oh, I can see the armbar, I could see the rear naked choke. And it's like, you see the technique and you're like, I could do that, but it's a totally different thing when you get to rolling with somebody. Man, to actually a grown adult, somebody that's defending themselves, to get a rear naked choke on them, however easy it looks, and you could teach a 3-year-old to rear naked choke, but get it on somebody who's defending themselves. And then, of course, there's skills of being able to defend themselves. Once you start doing that, now quickly you'll get better. And that's what it is. So, watching, what was I saying? 50, 60, 70 events. I hadn't seen AZD do the dragon tech except for once, 1.5 times. And that 1.5 times, the first one was the first tabiat. Tabiat, a Persian word, meaning nature. Tabiat, however it's pronounced. Tabiat was my first major program with AZD. 3 days where it was unleashed on me. This connections AZD had in the world that were not spoken about, that you couldn't really speak about publicly. It would endanger people, actually. But it was spelled out to me. And 4 other guys, BC being one of them. The other 3 guys actually aren't around. P. Kirkwood, Akash, and Jay Wonders. They lasted for however long they lasted. But BC, right there, side by side, and he's in the returning messengers. BC, a huge real estate guy. We saw in the officers meeting today, 14 of the 20 officers were present. 5 of the 14 officers came directly through BC to Arash. That's huge. And those are the top guys in the hierarchy. And BC being there. And so AZD spun a tale. He wove a tale to us that was a true tale. And he showed us the evidences and why there was a certain authority. And it sometimes when you see someone being very confident and you don't know why they're being so confident, it makes you wonder what makes them so confident. a lot of people maybe even haven't experienced somebody so confident. But in different fields, let's say I was a wrestler. So there were guys on the team that were especially confident. They were the winners, the guys winning national championships or coming from high school, being like 4-time, whatever champion from high school. So they're just like confident, and you can see why. But when you see someone that you don't know why, it would be like seeing somebody with a lot of money. Let's say like a young, slick guy dressed, whatever he's dressed, maybe doesn't wear his money on his sleeves, like not pulling up in a fucking Ferrari or something, or whatever it is, Lambo. So you wonder, does that guy have a lot of money? You just see him out like at the tanning salon or something, or at the gym, somewhere regular, the gas station. Well, the gas station, you can see his car, but you just wonder, like, the way he talks, and sometimes it'll come across arrogant also. If you see someone with a lot of money, but you don't really see the money on their sleeve, like maybe his father has a lot of money. You ever meet somebody that you're like, maybe his dad has a lot of money, because he walks around so confident and arrogant and authoritative, like you should definitely follow what he says. You're like, that guy's got something going on. At higher levels, maybe people have been around places where they almost come across a celebrity. Like, I wonder if that guy's a celebrity, the way he's just like, looks really good, but almost communicates like he's expecting, or she's expecting you to follow in some way. It's like, is that person used to people listening to them the way they're saying it? So it's kind of like that with AZD, except he's much more refined. So he does not come across as like expecting you to follow him. He actually says it in a way that it like pulls your nervous system to follow what he says. Very influential. And in the tonality and the structure of things, if you really receive and listen what he says, which you want to if you follow, or if you're listening to him in some way, because it's kind of hypnotic, and it's valuable information, the way he paints pictures and describes situations. And it kind of rubs off on me. That's kind of why I'm able to do it to some degree. That's why you're listening. And so 50, 60, so that's when he described this dragon character, was during this event that he was weaving the tale of his hidden alliances and so on. And that's all I'll say about that. And it made the confidence, like you see a rich guy and you're like, I wonder if he's rich, or a celebrity. I wonder if they're a celebrity, if they're known or something. And you see this guy, and it made sense now, the dangerousness and the confidence. And it made me appreciate so much more the soft and subtleness of, when you can stomp on ants, you definitely got to watch where you're stepping and how you're communicating. And, because when you're so big, or when you move so fast and you make a mistake, it's really devastating to people, and it could be dangerous for people. So I saw the sense of responsibility and the sense of control that the man needs to control his communication. And this is what I learned, and this is what I have also. And this is what you get when you get the way he communicates, and the stories and the meanings behind why he has come to the conclusion, this is the way to be, this is what's right to say. And you start to get it, and you carry this. It's like a meme or something. It's this meme of dangerousness, of smooth communicating. And now with the dragon character that's coming around now, and it's a camp that's starting. It's about 9 or 10 days of camp, few preliminary advanced lectures, and then the main event, when there's people here and you see him work through. I have a hunch he's going to do some alchemy exercises, which is going to be things with your body movement and how you talk and what you're visualizing. It's going to anchor a new level of, I can't say for sure that that's what he's going to do, but he's also, it's not just dangerousness, but it's an ancient, old beingness, one capable of really understanding past lives and dreams. Do these things come to fruition? Of love, the dragon. And I see it's a level of power and dangerous. It's this, what I see is like a lion with a snake, but with almost an alien or a mummy, a kind of pharaoh, that kind of connection from, like, how the mummies were like the pharaohs, and the pharaohs may have been connected with like ET that helped them build the pyramids, or they're the descendants of the pyramid builders, or some relationship to a lot of universal power. The dragon was almost like this serpent, lion, mummy, whatever, something. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a unique perspective that AZD teaches from. And as he teaches from these various perspectives, we pick up these perspectives, and it gives us an angle on life and relationships. It does something to our inner vibe and how we emanate our communication. And this charges our environment. And one of the things that I've had to get used to learning from AZD is how polarized I make women if I interact with them, because I move with such certainty and I'm looking 7 layers deep into what she's doing, like the body language, the unconscious movements. I'm analyzing and at the same time letting go of analyzing, because I'm not trying to be there doing calculations looking at her. But in a group dynamic, like I have studied as a PhD, I have studied the social dynamics and the energy connections between people and how communication facilitates that, or even, repels it, the attraction and repulsion of communication, the physics of communication, which is the physics of the mind, where the communication emanates from, through the body, and how mindset, how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself in your environment, and why you think and feel about yourself in your environment, so you can change that, and how that comes out in your communication, which is going to attract and repel, attract and or repel, the situations you find yourself in. And you move through life, situation to situation, shifting situation to situation, changing each one, how you're communicating to the people involved. So when you shift inside your vibe, it changes how you communicate. If you're angry, it's something. If you're sad, it's something. If you're happy, overjoyed, it's something. If you're hyped up, you ever been so hyped up that you miscommunicate because you're like overflowing with, And so not only coming from a place of peace and awareness inside, so you can act. If you were an actor, you don't want to be legitimately angry. You don't want to be like off stage, just like angry because, you and your girlfriend or something, and then you got to go out and try to portray various emotions that don't have to do with anger. So your acting is going to come across angry. You got to start from a place of peace to go out and act. And we all step out every day to act in the world how we are. Does AZD still post vlogs with his girl for a girl's harem? No. There's no need for that. But you can see posts of him with his girls. That's just on Instagram. He's a little bit on TikTok now, and that's what that is. So the dragon is a certain vibe, or it's a range of vibe. It's an area in vibe space that we tap into, and it shapes our character. If anything, AZD is like a character specialist, having analyzed life and the stories of life, the mystical stories of life, the legends, the philosophies / religions. He's not out there like a religious pundit or whatever, but having looked through the kind of, there's a word for this, but the mystical stories of life, the creation stories, and also fantastic stories. It's not like he's a library of everything that ever happened, but getting a broad stroke of the big ones, and whatever else he came across in his unique life. And then through practicing himself through the art of Manu Tupo, that this is a lineage here. Manu Tupo, the acting coach, the great acting coach, and using all of his other information with Scientology and a martial arts upbringing. And he's not a Scientologist, but the ancient stories of the martial artists, and there's relationships to L. Ron Hubbard and all of those writings, the understanding of the mind and Manu, and now working with character development, because it's acting and you're just acting in life. And of course, at some point, picking up the law of attraction and some information that became very popular, took over the world. So what vibe are you creating? It's just a restatement of so many ancient philosophies through time. Lots of people, Neville Goddard, lots of people have written about the law of attraction, but bringing that into it in character and what character you're playing in the theater of life, and boom, now you got a handle on something very deep, very karmic, karma, how you're able to act, and the inhibitions, the inability to act because of emotions. Why are you not allowing yourself to express yourself a certain way? Well, to lack of control of the system. You got 2 arms, 2 legs, voice. You could act any way another actor could act. and create a certain effect, especially when you see a master react. It's difficult, I think, for people because they don't really see a masterful communicator. If you're lucky, you've been around someone very high level in DJing or military or an athlete or an artist of some sort or a professor that was really, really good at, or academic at the math or the science or something, some high level. I don't know what your experience is. A skateboarder, it could be anything, a musician. So, but a masterful communicator, I mean, all of those are in a way communication. Obviously, like the art is a clear example. That's a communication, but I mean talking, conversing with people, which could be, and at some point, like, why is it partying? Why are you communicating with so many people? Is it presenting something? Yeah, you're selling something, or you build a business, you build a community, really, of friends. Those could be all in the same, by the way. And of course, women and all of it. And then fast forward, what does that evolve into? Well, definitely a skill set to communicate, get ideas across, to influence outcomes, to gain cooperation, to repel danger, to create love, to whatever, man. And then there's levels to this thing, because you might be good at selling a toaster to a hungry person, but can you sell a Bugatti to someone who is only making, I don't know, that's out of my range, but let's say right now it is, sell something to someone higher level. Like, it's different to sell a $5,000 product than a $50 product than a $5 product. And that's a different level of language, dealing with the same people, but you will ultimately deal with different people and they communicate differently. The idea is they're thinking about when they say what they say and what is going to influence their decisions, but it's, all one mind. The mechanics and physics of the mind is the same in your mind as mine. It's just a lever is attached to a different point, an anchor point in your mind, and it moves differently. So, but the principles of anchor points or, triggers or fucking, at the base code of things, it's survival and replication. So the emotions and beliefs that you have programmed around how you're going to survive the best and reproduce the best. Reproduce. You may or may not have kids, but that's that whole mating urge. The mating urge is reproduce. For her, it's really more survive, but she wants to reproduce also from the highest survival genetics, whatever is coming across at that moment as highest survival in the environment with whatever people are around. She's pulled to that. And the world is really watered down. So she may be pulled to a barren, empty ocean. The ocean is mostly a desert. It's just like malnourished. So even plankton, plants, even plants don't grow there. And then, there's like no animals there. They follow currents and upwellings where there's nutrients and whatever. It's desert, most of the ocean. Maybe you get some rain, but it's just salt water. So most of the world to a woman is a desert ocean. It's just a bunch, but a big shark comes by and she's got a radar to feel survival value come by in the environment. So knowing this, and AZD's way of communicating has now shifted into a dragon's perspective. Very ancient, very powerful, very mystical. And it's going to deepen everyone's awareness of how to relate with a woman, especially, but with men too. And it expands your just general awareness around these topics, mystical topics and spiritual topics, and your language. It develops your language around that. When you develop your ability to talk about it, then you can transfer ideas better. You can influence other people better. You can understand new people like that you wouldn't have understand before. You can understand them because they're talking in lingo that you comprehend, you can navigate. And when you learn how to masterfully communicate about past lives, dreams, love, and anything else that relates with this whole subject, from an alpha male character, an alpha male, not all wimpy. That's what people do. They go into that, and a guy would talk about, astrology or whatever, and it's going to be all wimpy. How to talk about it. And it's not breaking it down necessarily to all of the 12 signs and the moons and this and that. And like, giving you the whole script of it. That's what's so unique about this, is it's a beingness. You can go and study the subject. You would learn something maybe about cold reading, or I think not. But see, people don't have so much of a reference of a person right next to them. That's the value of coming to class. And we give a lot out, the TikToks, you have all these clips, and clip after clip, hundreds of clips. You could see the certainty. You could see the articulation of the language. You could see the kind of so many things in it. There's a beingness coming across. And it may seem a little bit digital, a little bit robotic, because you just keep seeing lecture clips. So how much variety are you really seeing? Is this guy really real? What is this? What's going on? So it's great information, but I don't know anything about the character here. Well, that's what it is. So maybe we'll, make him more human to you by, reposting some of his private stuff or whatever, just so you see who he is. Because it should start to clue you in. If you really study it, which you don't need to, but like the people watching right now, you could literally, we've given you hours and hours of content, really mind-blowing content. You don't have to agree with everything. Just keep going, moving. Because like the guys on Zoom right now, you may realize as you grow and you get better with the language around the subjects of male-female dynamics, IMC Nation and everything that is coming from here, that you understand subjects differently as you accumulate knowledge in other fields. Like if something doesn't make sense to you, just keep studying. 6 months later, the subject makes sense to you. Even like maybe a character, AZD coming from different characters each month may make kind of sense to you, but you don't really get it. But as you study for 6 months and it circles back around to the character again, then you're like, oh, I get it. It's a different character, but it's like you've grown because you went through all these other characters. And so he's on this like spiral ascension of character development, especially as it relates to relating with the women. New women, old women that have been around for a long time. So there's a lot of reflection of character and being able to look at under a microscope and a telescope, this male-female courtship, identifying things like attraction, comfort, and seduction. How attracted is she? What are you signaling? Are you signaling your attraction in various ways? Comfort, where is there discomfort? Around what subjects? Around what words? Make the person comfortable. In today's day and age, everybody's a snowflake to some degree. Certain words, and it just sets them off. Certain tonalities, just like, dude, they're like little landmines or whatever. And we could sit and complain about it like MGTOW, or we can seduce her, which takes a really, almost like a professional surfer. You got to surf the waves, man, because her mood and attitude, it could shift 1 minute to the next. You say something just like her dad or ex, and she'll feel justified, and the law is on her side. And, and then from, to, how do I say, it's compounded really by the guy being so sex hungry and just needing and wanting the sex. So he'll compromise when he's around some woman dramatizing some shit and get nicer and try to, squelch the flames or whatever. And then on the other side of it, he's weaker and he's a little bit traumatized, and so he doesn't come back at the same strength because he didn't know how to handle it. And over time, she just, through her dramatizations, dwindles down whatever power he had with her until she's just chewed him up and spits him out. And hypergamy just moves on to the next one, or he cheats and they find out. I mean, there's only so many paths that the relationship is going to go, and we know them all. We see them all. That's what we do. We see them all, and we investigate under a kind of a magnifying glass. That's the right word, a magnifying glass. The words and the concepts, what's going on between men and women, attraction, comfort, seduction, and the relationships, and so on. And so at the highest levels, it does start to make sense. Astrology, past lives, and the subject of love. And now this camp, we are Dragon's Blood. I've announced it, and I'll announce it again. And it starts very soon because he gives preliminary lectures to build up your information around the subject so that when the event hits, because there's going to be a lot of demonstration, there's some power reflected when the audience is here, especially the audience that's been studying you for some time, because they have more of the words that you've taught them. And so they can reflect from a deeper level the philosophy that you're talking about. And to the philosopher, to the teacher, to the scientist, the person at the cutting edge of it, to some degree, there's nothing that you want more than a worthy audience. That's why streaming to the TikTok, it's complicated with also streaming to the YouTube, honestly, with streaming to the live audience, because everybody's at a different level. The live audience here on Zoom knows what the fuck I'm talking about, gets 99, if not 100% of everything I'm saying. The people on YouTube, I've been streaming to them for some time. They know me almost as much or more than AZD. Some of the YouTube, they only know IMC guys. AZD isn't even streaming on IMC TV. And then on TikTok, there's new people, like people just go through their live feeds, I know, and they don't even know, who is this guy? What is this account? You know what I mean? But then some of you, like there's a bunch of you on Bible of Arash, you're mostly seeing AZD, but I've made some posts. You may know who I am, may not, so you're used to one way of communicating. I'm showing up and you may be totally new and not understand what I'm talking about, but you're getting it a little bit. And the more I talk, the more you get it. And that's good for both of us because I really love the subject. Like, that's why I'm all about IMC. That's why I've put myself as the right-hand man, the manager, the fucking booking agent, the whatever you want to call it, of AZD and IMC Nation. I've been leading the way. I'm booking the tour, making sure the graphics are there, making sure the audience shows up. It's a great show. Everything's coordinated. And there's other guys on the show too, because there's the lighting and the web designer and the this and that. But I'm leading that because I really like the philosophy, really like it. It's so good because it's the code, man. The more you study the teachings, the more you watch the clips, you'll see it's every situation in life. The code is there between men and women, even with mom and dad, especially with mom and dad, but it's such a unique flavor. How to deliver. Oh, man. And then how to have control over your instrument. Bro, you are stuck in your matrix. You're stuck in your habitual attitudes, your moods, because you're not driving your vehicle inside. Inside, you're not driving your vehicle. Someone from your past is driving your vehicle. But it's not really, because the past doesn't exist, man. It's only the present. So it's just an impression in you. It's auto driving itself because you've let go of control. Because at some points, it was too intense to keep control. You had to surrender. So you just learned to let go. And you're living in a chronic, just like layers of letting go, but you're trying, but there's parts of you that are trying to let go and submit. And then there's parts of you that are trying, and you're not confronting that because that's really all it is in your life. Confronting what's holding you back, which is just inside. If something's holding you back from the outside, then it's holding you back from the outside. Okay, but from the inside, if you're not doing something, and the thing is you got to get familiar with the concept of justification and rationalization. If you're justifying yourself to yourself, if you're rationalizing why you're not achieving, why you're not trying to achieve, well, you could get away with that living with yourself or living with a bunch of people that are, patty cakes, just pouting to themselves, trying to justify themselves to their life to themselves. And if they are trying so hard to justify why they failed and their shortcomings and their victim and everything, and you're around that, you do it too, they want to allow that. And they'll actually criticize you if you don't. If you take responsibility for your shit, that mindset is cancerous to them because their mindset is built around, their certain level in life, economic, social, relationships, relating with people. There's reasons why people die alone. They grow old alone. That's their beliefs and how they've expressed themselves throughout their life. That's their karma. You can help them whatever you can do, but the best help for them, if you're going to be any help at all, is to ascend yourself. Maximum ascension to yourself. Because at higher levels of ascension, just one moment of interacting with you would be more for them than interacting with you every day, but you're at a lower level ascension. So I can call my mom and dad and say something to them that pulls them out of their stupor, their dramatizations with each other, because they're fused, man. They're so in the muck with each other that it's like it's not even them. They're not there. And that is every parent. And I tell you, my parents are some of the best parents. And I know some of you have really not good parents. Some of you have all right parents. I mean, it's a spectrum. It is what it is. Maybe you chose it, maybe you didn't. I like to say that I'm only lucky in life in the fact that I had my parents. Where I was born, who I was born to, I didn't have control of that. After that, I mean, it's how my parents took care of me. Again, luck of the parents. And then it's the decisions I made. It's basically what my parents did for me and then the decisions I made. So that's the only thing I really have to say that I'm lucky or I'm fortunate in my life is my parents. And you are too, because you're here listening. You know what I mean? So whatever fortune, you had some fortune with parents. You're here listening. And I was saying their dramatization, the muck they're in and whatever. And, you know, I can pull them out of that into present moment, almost like Eckhart Tolle. If Eckhart Tolle, but not to his degree, not, you know, that's Eckhart Tolle. But Eckhart Tolle couldn't do what we do with women and understanding the male-female code. He's in his own thing. But we pull from these teachers, Manu's tech of acting in life and the spiritual tech that you need to be able to do that. Because you get too entangled in the character you're portraying, you lose yourself again. Or it becomes too taxing on you because you're trying to be a certain way and you break character. And you need the process. That's the process here. It's called the AZD process. And the teachings will spell out for you the characters that you're portraying. And then you practice them. And you can't help but practice them because if you listen and learn, the images go in your head, the stories and whatever. Like by listening to me now, it's inevitable that the images go in your head, the stories, and you're figuring something out. And that helps you understand your future. You may get erroneous ideas, and that's what most people have. They've been impressed with a bunch of weird ideas, wrong history, wrong US history, wrong, religious history, wrong perceptions of society through the media, news, and everything. They're so warped. And so getting them to realize the truth of male-female dynamics, what's happening right now between you and everybody you know. And why, man, the people talk about justifications and excuses, why people justify and excuse so much. They may have one piece of dirty ass, old, used pussy that they don't want you to know that they're fucking. And that's why they're not moving in life, because they just want to stay there and get that once every other week that treats them bad kind of whore, whatever. People are sitting in their out ethics where they're doing things that they don't want you to know about. That's out ethics. In their private life. And coming around IMC makes you more accountable. And really coming around IMC makes you even more accountable. Getting to live with IMC, because there's 31 or 32 guys in IMC Nation that live together in 5 different bases. Living around IMC guys, you really got to confront character flaws, things that you're hiding about yourself. It's not like living around your parents or your girlfriend or whatever. They tolerate shit so that they can use you. When you go out ethics with them, they have something over you. Just like they're out ethics with you, you got something over them. When you ascend and you get fed up with them, then, and it's not all about ethics or whatever. I mean, it's different levels of ethics. Ethics it's not like one size fits all. They have a certain level of ethics for themselves at their level of survival. You want to survive better, you got to fly the coop. You got to move. Got to get out. But where are you going to go? You're going to be by yourself. You're going to just accentuate your bad habits. You're going to spiral. That's why guys live at home and they get a girl and they live up with her. But she's got terrible, terrible, terrible habits. Where did she get her habits from? The fuck? Dude, this is about to die. I'm going to end it here in a minute. So if you cake up with a girl, live with her, you think she's like a fucking Buddha or some monk philosopher of life? Incredible. She's got her routine down. She knows what's going to work. You know what I mean? She knows what's going to be best for her to succeed. May I ask what AZD is? AZD is a Rastapar D Bazaar. This account is a bunch of clips of him with all the face tats. That's AZD. People, I don't notice the comments. So if you've commented, then I may have missed it. But smash that like. We're about to end it. And you can always click the bio to see information about how to train here. imcbase1.com or whatever link we have there. Okay, so yeah, her level of life mastery. I mean, maybe she grabbed something from mom or dad, but she's grown up so abused and objectified and sexualized and traumatized and left behind. I mean, just like little boys, and they grow up to men, but they're still little boys inside. But that's why as we ascend on this personal development path, then you're just not the same person. You change your character. You're always that goodness inside, but you change your character. You're not the same naive, pouty, needy mama's boy. You can't be. You drop off. You will not make it an IMC if those are the ideas you want to hold on to. So you will let them go. Even me just pointing them out now, you will let them go. And to deeper and deeper levels. And as you find yourself in more trying situations in relationships, I mean, it's tough. If you find yourself living with her or at her place or something, and she's like raises her voice to you or curses at you or whatever the fuck, you face that. You can't be yelled at to be put into shape like mom or teacher or any number of the abusive women we grew up with had talked to us, that she can't talk like that. And you get sharper and sharper on your ear where it's like sooner and sooner before her tonality even deviates a little. I mean, or after a little or whatever, but you almost catch it before it happens. You got to go and snap her out of it because she's in this controlling mindset and it's just false. It's off code. Because in truth, she's smaller than you, weaker than you. You'd whip her ass, man. You'd kill her if it was the jungle. What makes you think it's not? Oh, because you live up and down stairs and in these boxes that have major field of vision in your mind, very square, versus the jungle out there. But that's what it is. So it's off code. She can't talk to you like that, dude. But if you allow it, then she'll use you. And that's, you're pulled by whatever strings that you won't let go of. And that's what you got to do to man up. So I recommend moving from city. I think one of the greatest things is I kept it moving. You know what I mean? And you just leverage everything you can to come around and then stay around and just let it go. What are they going to do? Take you away, throw you in jail for not paying? I think you'll figure it out. If you're good, you'll figure it out before then. There's a way. There's a will. There's a way. I just saw a video the other day on YouTube of like 5 jobs that pay $40 an hour or more that are hiring, like teleoperators and things. Dude, you can do anything. You don't need experience. That's what it said. I watched the video and then I've recommended it to 2 people already. One of them being one of my family members. And that's what I have to say about that. That's Enlightened Masculinity. The We Are Dragon's Blood event is 8 or 9 days with AZD online for most of it. The last 2 days will be very intense, online or in person. People come here September 22nd, 23rd. There is a party with it that will be going out in field with AZD and moving as a tribe. And you'll see the kind of ethics and behavior that works among 10 to 20 guys in a city. All of us look tough, dressed well, clean. Even if there's a new guy, we coach him right away. He changes and he's there with us. And that's really cool. Plus, it's the dragon theme, which I can't describe because I'm about to learn it. I can say what I've learned in the past, very old, very ancient, very strong, and able to commingle or align with very powerful, dangerous, and beautiful people. People want to align with him. And you can check that out. It'll be up soon on imcbase1.com or just DM me. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream. First, I'm going to end this TikTok. Go click the bio. Then I'm going to end this TikTok. Go click the bio. Then I'm going to end the recording here. Make sure you follow the show. And then I'll quickly check the stream stats. I just want to see. Nice. Nice. There's a little lag so I can see how many people are on. Good. All right. Worth it. All right, everybody. See you next time.